What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 268. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
And Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Brian Monjoma.
What's good, people?
And joining us for this emergency episode, Mr. Riku-san, one, the only one.
What's good, people?
All right, man. So kind of a weird night, and we'll get to some of the reasons why it's kind of weird tonight. But basically, Chris Seeley is not here tonight. He is incapacitated. He's not feeling, well. So no Chris action. Brett is currently on vacation in Hawaii, celebrating his birthday for like 2 weeks because that's what you do, Adam may show up later because he's watching Royal Rumble, right, Manny?
Yep, he's watching the Royal Rumble.
But even then, we don't know because we learned the reason he wasn't on the last show is because his back was all fucked up, So, he can't make that. Carlos is here at the moment, but he may be called away because some work shit. So, yeah, tonight's going to be interesting. But you know how we do on Throwdown, man. We'll hold the shit down. We always do that. Mm-hmm. And speaking about weird nights, one of the reasons it's not weird, it's just really sad and unfortunate. We got to bring this up because the good man was a legend, right? We want to give our condolences and respects to Kobe Bryant and his family. Unfortunately, Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and a number of others passed away this afternoon in a helicopter crash near Los Angeles, I believe. Like nobody, obviously you don't see stuff like that coming anyway, but very tragic, especially since Kobe. I mean, there's been some stuff going on with him and all that, but he was overall a pretty decent human being, and a lot of people looked up to him, and he was so. I'll get into it later, but it's like, Manny and I were talking about this. Like, this dude is a year older than us. That's it. Like, he pretty much had the rest of his life in front of him, and it's just, it's sad this happened, man.
Yeah, he was. In fact, it's weird. It's crazy. Like, only last year. He won an Academy Award for the animated short that was animated by Glenn Keane, a famous Disney animator. So it's pretty nutty.
Yeah, it's sad what happened, man. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have, because I haven't watched basketball in a while, but Carlos, I know you said you grew up with him basically, right?
Yeah, man. I used to, since I was like 7 years old, I used to watch him play, and I had his sneakers in middle school. I used to wear sneakers back then, and fuck, man, it's hard to think like I grew up watching him play, and it's really sad that all the shit that just happened, and it's hard to process. Like it seems like everyone is in mourning, and it's hard to comprehend all the emotions that people are getting, and it sucks, man, especially for his family that's fucking losing a father and a daughter and a sister. It sucks, man.
Yeah,
that's bad. So yeah, our condolences to everybody, their families and all that. Very, very sad. But a lot of our fans, big basketball fans, so it would be kind of like messed up of us not to bring that up real quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's gonna pretty much do it for us. So we're gonna get some questions, and the usual people. You already know how it goes. There's a couple of announcements, but I'll save those for the end of the show. All right. First up, we have a question from Goose7, who recently subscribed to us on the last show. And also right now, shout out to the Herlin for subscribing to us. Herlin is also our friend Colby, who we've had on the show for the Game of Thrones podcast and all that stuff. We got to have him on Throwdown soon. He's a good guy,
Yeah, definitely. We have to have him on again.
Yeah. All right. So the first question is, do you guys feel that gaming journalists collectively back games, for example, Outer Wilds, because it's the quote-unquote in thing to do, sort of like the pro-Nintendo bias that, in my opinion, leads to higher scores for their games? The Nintendo bump, I call it. I'll let you guys answer first. Me being the resident gaming journalist here, I'll save myself.
I don't know.
Later.
I do generally think that a lot of folks in the game, as far as the gaming journalism space, often think quite alike. So I think a lot of times when it comes to that stuff, it's a lot of sort of like-minded folks that are kind of, jumping toward those sorts of things. That's pretty much, it just seems like to me. I don't also, because if you notice that just in the general gaming journalist space, there's always sort of a semi divide when it comes to certain titles, right? Some titles they'll just the fans just love it, but the journalists will hate it. But that's in the movie industry, that's it's like that. You know, they'll pan. You know, a film like Rambo: First Blood Part 2 got panned by critics,
Yeah.
but the audience liked it. So I don't really. I just the way I look is if you disagree or agree, it doesn't really matter. You know, as long as you're, you know, it's just more about you sort of playing the game and making sort of your own decisions as opposed to thinking that a game journalist or any journalist is the end all be all of opinions.
Yeah. Oh, great. We may have Otaku Man jump in. Cool. All right. Brian, what's your take, man?
Yeah, by the way, I'll work with Andre to see if I can get him on.
Okay.
Okay. I definitely think that there is, and I think it falls a lot along the lines of politics. I'm trying to be very like careful here because again, we don't want to be dealing with that on this show, but
Yeah.
I think that is the case. And I often see it with games that either they fall down a particular line or they don't. They tend to get certain pushes from other sites opposed to all sites. So if a game has some sort of politics that are left leaning, then you tend to get lots of positivity from certain websites. So, for example, your Polygons and your Kotakus. Again, that's how those guys lean, so it makes sense. You know, everyone likes their thing, so hence if someone is on their side, then they tend to promote it. And then we also see the inverse in games that don't have left-leaning ideas. So, for example, what's that game that came out like last year, the, like medieval one that was like you play like a peasant.
Oh, Kingdom Come.
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that did not have any. I think it's like all like white people, and of course that's not very left leaning. That's not very inclusive. So hence it got panned by those sites. And I think again, I think it's just all too clear that that is what's going on. But overall, as in like taking out the whole industry, I think it's just some people have some ideas, some people like certain things, and some people don't. I mean, I can find people that don't like Breath of the Wild. I can find an overwhelming amount of people that love Breath of the Wild. So I think it's just maybe the preference, or maybe how the game caters to what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, for sure. All right, joining us tonight, Mr. Andre Tipton, a.k.a. Otaku Man 5000. What's going on, brother? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Andre, just check your voice and chat settings in Discord, because sometimes they get a little screwy. So feel free to just keep screaming until we hear you, you know? All right, Riku, what's your take on this, man? I especially want your take because, you know, you are into games that, like, nobody in the media fucks with.
All right, repeat the question for me.
Oh, the question is, by the way, Riku, check your Twitter because I can't open up Discord right now. I sent you the show notes. The question is, do you feel that gaming journalists collectively back certain games because it's the in thing to do?
Oof.
Hold on.
Oh, there he is, Andre. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
All right, man.
I don't hear.
Yo,
Him.
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Riku's going to answer first, but thank you, Andre, for joining us, man.
Yes. It's hard to. I think it's a yes and no when it comes to this one, but I'm going to go more or so on yes when it comes to certain games. I really don't want to say that may have been the case.
Yeah, we hear you, man.
Yeah, we can hear you. You good?
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. I really don't want to make it seem like that might be the case of what happened when it came to Death Stranding, but I think to a degree, that may have been the case for that. But yeah, I think when it comes to certain games, that's definitely the case. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. That's all I would say. Here's the thing. Rockstar, I personally don't like Rockstar games that as much as the critics seem to like it.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted your take on it, because your tastes are completely, like, not only are they different from gaming journalists, they're different from most gamers in general. Let's just be honest here. So that's why I wanted your take on this. Do you feel that some gamers collectively do this thing too?
Oh hell yeah! Oh
Mm.
yeah, definitely. Especially, I'm gonna say straight up the Nintendo guys. They definitely
yeah.
for their stuff. I would say the Legend of Zelda franchise in general. Like when it comes to that, they're probably very good games, but Jesus Christ, like the fact that they get like 97s on Metacritic, they can't be that good, can they?
Well, they are to them, to those guys.
No, you say to them, but I mean, this is also taking critics into consideration also because they're the ones, giving it that
Well,
97.
a lot of critics like Nintendo, as you've seen.
Yeah.
So
So there you go. I mean, I will use that franchise as an example to say yes.
Okay,
To the question.
let me just jump in and say really quick. I think it's slightly overrated, but in the high 90s, I am willing to agree with that because
yeah,
I think that they have done really well on that front. It's one of the few open world. Well, I'm talking about Breath of the Wild.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the few open world games that actually feels like they gave a shit. Because I'm playing Rage 2 at the moment, and that's like an Ubisoft open world game in that it's not really open world. It's just, hey, I put some things in the open world that you need to do. It just seems like one big checklist. Whereas with Breath of the Wild, it doesn't feel like a checklist. It just feels like, hey, you can do this, or you can just walk away and do something else. Like you don't feel compelled to do anything. You just kind of like you feel more compelled to explore than to actually get stuff done in the open world. And I think that's what makes that open world different. Whereas
Okay.
in
So
regards to like the story mode and all sorts, I can't speak on that. I'm not finished that yet. So yeah.
okay, like I said, in regards to the franchise, so okay. How about this? I'll give you Breath of the Wild. Let's take that one out. Let's look at another Legend of Zelda game, Ocarina of Time. Do you feel that's a 99 on Metacritic?
See, the thing is, I've only played Breath of the Wild, so hence I cannot speak out speak about the others. So
I
I was
actually would give it not high 90s like that, but like in the mid 90s. I would give it. Ocarina of Time is a pretty legendary game, deserving of all the praise it's gotten.
I think it's worth the rating it has,
I don't know.
in
People
my
saying it
opinion.
doesn't age well, but we'll see. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get to it.
I mean,
granted,
Well, I
no,
mean,
no,
the thing
no, no.
about
yeah.
the
Go
thing
ahead,
about
Andre. Yeah, go ahead, man.
the thing about the Legend of Zelda. I mean, it's kind of like it's the way the game, like most games today, are designed. Okay, we're gonna. This is a story, and this is the world. And we're gonna throw you in here, and then you do da 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 go here, da 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 go here, da 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 go here. Most of the Legend of Zelda games were created from the beginning as, hey, what's this? Let's go see what this is.
Yeah,
It might be nothing. It might be something cool. You have no idea, but you go check it out. It's the game that encourages you to go and like check stuff out. I don't know if I could beat this boss with one hit. I might have to go get a special weapon to beat this boss. But and it's just one of those games where like it encourages you to try to go just to see what's going on. A lot of games. I mean, like I said, I like Rockstar. I like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and all that stuff. I like their games, but the Legend of Zelda is just. I mean, I'm not going to say it's one of the greatest games of all time. It's definitely up there, but it's one of those games. It's like especially Breath of the Wild. You just want to go. I want to see what's over here, and if I'm not powerful enough to beat this guy, I can leave and come back. Most games you can't do that. Most games don't care if you can or not. They don't give a shit. Like a lot of the Legend of Zelda series, those games, the world kind of grows as you play because you'll find stuff that you didn't know was there 2 hours ago.
Yeah, but let's focus on the question. Just circle back. So, Andre, do you feel did you hear the question? Do you mean to repeat?
Yeah, go ahead and say it again.
Okay, no problem. No problem, sir. So the question is: do you guys feel that gaming journalists collectively back games, for example, Outer Wilds, because it's the end thing to do? Sort of like the pro Nintendo bias, and in my opinion, leads to higher scores for their games. So yeah, and Andre, remember, and for you guys who don't know Andre, he's been a gaming journalist for a long, long time. So I definitely, I would definitely want to hear your take on this, sir.
I mean, I was gonna save this for like later on, but gaming journalism now, it's just not. A lot of people are in it for the money, and there's not much money to be made.
Yeah, what money's there in gaming journalism? What the fuck?
What are you trying to do? Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. people have offered to pay for reviews and stuff like that back in the day. No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do. I mean, it's just gonna be honest. Yeah, they do. A lot. Some of them. I mean, I'm gonna say a huge number of them do, because it is the cool thing to do. It is, a lot of people are bandwagon people, and it's just, dude, let that bandwagon go. We'll see where it ends up. If it ends up going somewhere cool, if it ends up in a ditch, whatever. I'm not jumping on bandwagons. If I like the game, I like it. If I don't, I don't. It's just, I'm not gonna back a game that I'm just not gonna back a game that I don't like. And if I'm playing it and I'm not feeling them, like I'll say, look, I understand, and I'm one of those guys. I've been in the business so long, and I've been played enough games to where I can see what the developers were trying to do. I'm one of those guys. Even Robert and them got on to me about it. I'm one of those guys. I can find something good in anything. Maybe the art style is cool, or the music was good, or they had a level that I liked. But the game could be trash. But there'll be something I'm like, oh, the music was kind of decent, and you just gotta. A lot of people they do jump on bandwagons, and they are they're into try to get this influencer title, which I'm still trying to figure. I'm still trying to wrap my head around influencer. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of Me Too stuff. Not Me Too, but like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Hey, you gonna do this? Me too. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon with you. And it's like, I have yet to play Death Stranding.
Oh wow,
it's crazy. I do want to though. I really want to. I don't have money right now. I'm broke, dude. But I am a Kojima fan, so I will check it out, and I will say, hey, whether I think it's awesome or it's decent, whatever. But I've never had a Kojima game that I really didn't have something that I liked about it. It might not have been the greatest game in the world, but there's something I did some things I do like about them. So
yeah, there's one thing I do want to add. I want to add about the bandwagoning. It also goes in reverse, right? If a game's getting shitted on, a lot of people just pile on.
Yeah,
it too,
Now, see, that's the thing that really bugs me. Is like I understand you follow a game, the development of a game, and go, and it looks good. Okay, I like the way they did that. That looks cool. And you haven't played it yet. You go, okay, that looks good to me. But for you to have never even played the game, or just heard some people shit on it, and then you like, yeah, man, well, if so-and-so shit on it, it's got to be trash. No, it doesn't. There are people in this industry, and there's a handful of them, that if they say, man, this game is dope, I will actually go take the time to go check it out. Because I know these people, and I trust their judgment. I've been talking to them a long time. I've known them. Yeah, I can go with that. But even then, I'm like, yeah, man, you're off the mark on that one. But I still go check it out. But you just have to, you find your own lane. Just do what you do it how you do it, like what you like. If somebody don't like what you like, whatever, man, go move on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just I don't. Yeah, the shitting on thing just really bugs me, and it just. Yeah, I don't like that at all. We didn't do that back in the day.
Yeah, now it's different, man. I'm going to be very careful with my answer here, because I personally know situations that people have told me behind the scenes of this exact same shit happening. Again, I'm not getting any games, but I've heard many stories told to me from sources that were there, where some sites would be like, listen, or writers would be like, listen, I this game, I just feel it's okay, but everybody loves it. I have to give it a high score. Andre, I know you know stories like that too. I know you've heard those. I can
actually probably name about 30 dudes right now.
Yeah, obviously we're not going to do that, but yeah, it's like, yo, like this shit does exist. Now, this is also why I'm just being honest right now. I kind of take the opinion when it comes to gaming reviews, I really only pay attention to the guys that I know personally. Like if I personally know you and I know a good amount of gaming journalists, then I'll take your shit. So if I don't know you, I'm not going to listen to you like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, trust me when me and Andre tell you this shit is real. We know it firsthand. We can not drop names right now if we wanted to. It's crazy, man.
I just noticed how
it goes both ways.
Yeah, I've noticed how it's almost toxic.
Yeah.
Either way, it's almost toxic. Like I'm like, I can't even think of a game right now, but I know some games that were they're decent games. They're pretty good games, and people just jumped all over them. And I'm like, dude.
The older
Like, what is going?
1886.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, I can name some stuff way back.
Yeah, no,
like I'm like,
but
I can like stuff that people, and you can look it up. A lot of some of the games that are like considered classics now were shit on back in the day.
yeah,
Like
it's
real.
that,
I was
that
like,
collectivism shit is not good, man.
You know
A
what's
lot of
funny?
people shitted on Final Fantasy 12 when it first came out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Final Fantasy 12 is one of the best games in the franchise, but it got shit on. But
it was
a
like
lot of people shitted on Final Fantasy 13, and they were right.
Oh, yeah, I like that game. Fuck you, man. Anyway,
no, I mean, it's a couple of games back in the day that you like. I was like, you're in. What was it? I can't think of it.
Yeah,
but you'll see
if
you see me tweet. If you see me tweet something like, "Wait, you like this now? Where were you back when it came out?"
Hold on.
When you see me say that, it's always something. Because I was there.
Where were these people that loved Nintendo with the Wii U? What happened? You know,
dude. No, see that. There we go. Me and you talked about this. I'm I'm sitting there going. I'm telling people when that press conference came, and I'm like, dude, the console's behind us. The console's by the TV right there. There's the console right there. The Game Pass has the console, and then the games came out, and people were like, "That's a good game, but it's for Wii U," and they just panned it. I'm like, really? But now everybody's like, "Oh my god, they need to bring Mario 3D World to the Switch." I'm like,
what happened the first time, bro?
I'm playing the game. I got the game right now. What are you talking about? I've been playing this game. And it's like, well, the Switch that's another thing. It's like, I think me and Stealth on Twitter got into like a little, not an argument about it, but Stealth, I was like, man, I'm like, dude,
Stealth
I'm
is
sick
a
of the
character, bro.
I'm sick of. Oh, that's my boy right there, though. But
I got nothing against Stealth, but it's like, yo. But anyway, I want to move on to the next. Go ahead. A number of questions tonight. So, but I know we could talk about that subject all night if we wanted.
It's just crazy, dude. I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Do the Third, who is actually in the chat with us right now. He asks, with next generation speculation and rumors running rampant, how important do you think it is for companies to control their message? Manny, why don't you start us off with this one? Do you think like these people like are not really doing a good job of controlling their message, or the hype levels and all the other stuff?
No, they're not. Here's the thing: they're not really controlling messaging at all, because they're just letting people speculate, and that's all that's going on right now is a bunch of speculation.
Yeah, think about it like this, right? When Sony was, Sony CES, right? What was the big speculation? They're going to reveal PS5 tonight, right? What did Sony do? They didn't say shit.
Nope.
And you know why they didn't. You know why they didn't, because they wanted people to speculate. They wanted people to tune in, Yeah,
they wanted people to watch it. So, they're using a lot of these places use that sort of hype and stuff to kind of do stuff. Unless it's something that's like a really bad thing, yes, they'll come in and say, no, this is a false rumor. But, if it's something that makes them sound better than they already are, they're probably not going to let it go, they're probably just going to let people speculate as to what's going to happen with it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Brian, what do you say?
Remember the key thing. It's about what they do. It's them saying something, not saying anything speaks more.
Yeah,
because you don't know, right?
Yeah. All right, Brian, get in here, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Tony. Like, I don't think that they need to, because again, the whole idea is for them just to drum up hype, and the best way that they can drum up hype is by saying nothing at all, and only shooting down stuff that they know, okay, is definitely not going to happen because it's outlandish. So hence them just saying like nothing on these matters is them just saying, okay, like let's see how many people we can put in the fold and say that, and like be interested in what we have to say when we have to say something.
They would just be spinning their wheels, constantly shooting down a bunch of useless information when they're probably spending their time actually putting together something interesting to show this thing.
Can I raise a current scenario that's happening with a PS5 that is potentially something that could help or hurt Sony?
Is this about Hip Hop Gamer's video?
Yep. There's the whole rumor, and it's not even just hip hop anymore.
It's not just him anymore. No,
it's a lot of other people that are coming to the whole PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible. Some people are saying it'll be fully backwards compatible. Some people are saying other stuff. But Sony's really quiet on this front. The only thing they've said was before all these rumors spread was the PS4 is definitely going to be backwards compatible with the PS5. And what it's doing right now, it's building a lot of hype. There's a lot of articles about the PS5. Everyone's talking about PS5 backwards compatibility. And I'm thinking to myself, is it a good thing if, for example, the rumors are not true and they're getting a lot of free press? The freaking console, the only thing that's been announced is a logo, and we're getting all this, all these articles and all this hype, people talking about it on Twitter and shit. Is it worth that hype? Or if it's not fully backwards compatibility, you think the hurtfulness of people being pissed off that it doesn't have it because Sony hasn't said anything, do you think that will outweigh the hype that it built around in the previous times before they even said it had backwards compatibility or not?
It's a good question, yeah. Because there's going to be a subset of people out there that really are expecting this to happen. So when it doesn't happen, they're going to be annoyed. But then there's the other people, us, who are like, yo, listen, it's going to have PS4 backwards compatibility at the minimum. Don't expect more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be, interesting because either way, you're right. It's going to happen. As soon as that thing drops, people are I'm still of the belief it's not going to have full backwards compatibility. Not that I don't want it to have that. I would love it to have that, but I do not believe that's going to happen, like we've discussed before, because of the fucking cell processor of the PS3. But we'll see. Riku, what do you think about hype, sir?
Hype. I'm the hype king, baby. Yeah, I'm all here for it, man. I eat it
Vita.
Up. Hype Vita. It's a double-edged sword, obviously, because it's like when you get hype and it pays off, there's no feeling, like it. But once you're hype and it's not that, man, you feel like you're ready to kill yourself, man. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm sadly I'm one of those people. I try to level my hype now these days, especially recently, because I was looking forward to something that NIS America was the fans said that they were going to showcase, but they did not showcase it. So that let me down. That happened a week.
Fuck you, NIS America.
Yeah.
By the way, it's NIS. I always thought it was Nice.
NIS, Nice. They're
NIS.
both right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, NIS. I'm going with Andre on this one. If he says NIS, I'm going with NIS, man. The elder statesman, Oh man, Andre, what's your take on this, bro? Do you think some of these companies need to control some of the hype that's like running rampant, or should they just let it go?
I don't know. I don't like the fact that they're letting it go, because you know how people are. Oh my God, Horizon Zero Dawn might come to PC. Oh my God, dude, I'm so sick of that crap. I don't. I mean, I really don't think the PS5 will have backwards compatibility just because of the cell processor and the Motion Engine and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it was they said that back in the day it cost too much to emulate it. So, if they come up with a way to do it, I think it'd be great. As far as fanning the flames of hype, they can end up shooting themselves in the face or shooting themselves in the leg.
Damn, you still shoot yourself.
It's either or, because if you don't get out in front of it, it's gonna run crazy, and people are just gonna say, people are gonna do whatever they're gonna do anyway. But I mean, gotta look. I mean, I know Sony's looking at their bottom line, like, okay, we need eventually they need to come out and say what's going on. I'm sure. I mean, probably right now the R&D team's probably, okay, we got to make sure if we can truly do this, let's see if we can do this and make it work.
Remember that, like the last.
I do believe they should. I do believe they should control the narrative, because people just, people are running their mouths, and it's a bunch of white noise.
But
it really is.
Yeah, Manny, go ahead.
The last time, with the way Sony sort of silenced all the backward compatibility talk, they just said, "All right, PlayStation Now."
Right.
People at the time, before they even launched it, were like, "Okay, that's fine." They didn't even bother with it. So here's the thing: like, if they're saying fully backward compatible, to be honest, they could always just pull the same card, be like, "Yo, PlayStation Now."
Right.
You know,
They could, but here's another thing. Do you guys remember during the PlayStation 3 era where everybody wanted cross game chat, cross game chat, cross game chat? They literally begged Sony for at least 2.5 years, during that generation. And Sony came out and said,
Wait, they or we, man? I was part of that.
we,
but if you notice, on PlayStation 3, they never did cross game chat ever.
Okay, my point is the fans wanted it and thought that they could get it via software, firmware update, and Sony finally came out and squashed it,
Yeah,
but before a decent long time they didn't say anything. So when it comes to this, I mean, it could be the same thing where they can't do it and they're not saying anything because they don't want to hurt themselves, but it could also be the other way around. What hip hop said, they're not saying anything because that actually is it. It can go either way.
I think they're just gonna wait until they're actually revealed to actually say something. And when they start releasing sort of information, it already kind of closes the door on any sort of surprises, right? So they remain mum until they finally drop what the thing looks like, what the release date is, and what the thing can do. And I think that's when they're going to start. They're going to.
But see, that's a very Japanese thing to do.
Yeah, they're going to
wait.
What
Sony's doing right now is a very Japanese thing to do. We're not going to say anything until we actually have stuff to show you. Yeah. So,
but
I mean, personally, I don't care. I got all the systems anyway, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like, I mean, if it's there, to me, it's like, if it's there, it's great. It I would just hope at least it has the backward compatibility with the 4, which they said the 4 is the deal. But if it does do the other stuff, okay, so that means I'd get to put the old PlayStation 3 away.
I do have a question. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I read this wrong. Oh, I don't know who said it, but didn't somebody say that they're not going to do HD remakes of last gen games on the new consoles?
I never heard that. I don't want. Yeah.
See, I read something and I was like, I hope they don't do that, because I'm tired of buying the same game.
I think
having the same game on PS4, PS5, PS3. No, just if you're going to do it for PS5, just make it for PS5 and just make people really have a reason to buy PS5. Just buy it. Just do that. I don't really want to see. I want to see Last of Us 2 remastered PS5. I don't know.
Nah, what they'll probably do is they'll probably just have a patch or something. Like remember when the PS4 Pro came out, they had patches and shit. So because again, we know for a fact Sony already said it's going to be backwards compatible with PS4. How that backwards compatibility, we're not sure how it's going to work exactly. Right. But the entire PS4 library is already available in digital form on the PlayStation Network, so it's easy to do that, and it's all x86 architecture as well. So we don't really need to worry about that. As far as my take on this, it's kind of interesting because I'm a little bit torn. Like on the one hand, I have two answers, right? One as a fan, then one from a business standpoint. Business standpoint, it makes sense. Like, yeah, let people go fucking crazy with speculation. It's just going to give us more attention. So I can understand that. But, as a fan and as a journalist too, I'm like, guys, listen, you need to clamp some of this shit down. If it's really like not there, just say no. Just say it's not happening. Or at the very least, say we don't comment on rumors. They're not even saying that this time.
Right.
Remember, back in the day, and by the way, when I say back in the day, I'm literally talking about 5 years ago. They used to do shit like this. Like, if a crazy rumor came out, or even if the rumor was true, they'd say, we don't speculate on rumors, and leave it at that, right? But they don't even do that anymore. They don't even do that anymore.
But the thing is, that involves them doing an interview. Has anybody done any interviews with anybody from Sony at this time?
Yeah, no, but it doesn't take an interview. It's Andre. You know this too.
Usually,
you send an email. You send an email and you get a response, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing though. Like Kotaku hasn't run with it yet. That's what usually when they do something like that, it's usually some big site or big media outlet has jumped on it. Like, well, will the PS5 be backwards compatible? Now, we don't,
Right now, it's like all a bunch of independents doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's
Once
like,
the big guys get into it, then somebody will say something.
Let me jump on that,
Exactly.
and you're right. I think because of the fact that it is independent, guys, that's why they are not jumping on that. But at the same time, that shit is still spreading around. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I
I
think
mean,
it
we
would
have
be.
that one guy who essentially, that one guy who literally said they confirmed it.
Yeah, it's like they didn't confirm shit. What are you talking about?
That, you know, Sony didn't confirm a damn
Fuck out of
thing.
here, man.
The only ammunition that anybody has in this situation is the fact that there's two patents about backward compatibility. There's one, the one that Hip Hop was talking about, and then there's another one where it's essentially it does like one of those like the Super NT, where essentially the chipset essentially reconfigures itself to run it.
Yeah, but again, that's all speculation at this point. But yeah,
Exactly.
my take is like I think in some of these cases, these companies do at least say no comment, say something at least.
Yeah, but no big guy has actually.
And I think you're right about that. You're right you're right because basically, like you said, I was gonna say otaku Kotaku, but basically, yeah. What would usually happen traditionally is Polygon, Kotaku, IGN, whatever, would email a Sony representative and they, reply back, no, we don't respond to rumors, and they post that, But you're right, since it is, because let's just be honest. Well, I mean, Hip Hop does. He has Sony contacts, but some of these other guys speculating, they don't have Sony contacts. They're just talking out their ass. Let's just be real here.
It's a form of it's speculation based off of a bunch of patents.
Yeah.
From the patents, it looks like something interesting, but as we know, no, a patent doesn't exactly need to be something that's functioning. It's
Right.
It's a patent for an idea.
Yeah, a patent doesn't need to exist, and a lot of patents never come to fruition.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on, man. Next up is Axel Wolf with 2 questions. His first question is, so with the top 20 selling games of the last decade coming out and most games on the list being multi-platform, do you guys feel Sony would benefit more if they release games on the Xbox and PC on day one? Everyone always says software is where they make their money, so would they make more money releasing on everything? Games like Spider-Man and God of War would have made that best-selling list if that was the case. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think Sony should release their games on PC day one and make more money? I forgot where we saw. I think we talked about this on last episode where we saw that games being like multi-platform, like it does help in some cases, but in others it doesn't really make too much of a bump, But anyway,
like the thing about it is like, yes, it definitely will make more money if it was on multi-platform, like if all those games were on there. But at the same time, Sony has stake in this game.
Yeah.
If they didn't have a console sitting out there, yes, totally. But the thing is like, I think as long as they have their own, as long as they have a separation where you have to do something specific to get these titles, they're always going to keep them locked behind their,
what?
Their specific thing.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say this, right? Let's just be honest, right? If you guys saw those recent numbers released by IGN, Sony PlayStation 4 has sold more than the Xbox One and Switch combined. So they don't really need to be doing that stuff. But at the same time, if you have your games on other platforms, you can hit different audiences that may not have PS4. But I think in general, at least now, I mean, it's the end of the generation, so maybe it doesn't matter. But Sony doesn't really need to be doing that. Maybe if things get bad for them next generation, maybe they'll, consider it. And even right now, by the way, people, Horizon Zero Dawn, even though Jason Schreier reported on it, that is still very much a rumor. We don't know if that's coming to PC yet. That is still not 100% confirmed, right? But yeah, again, think about it like this, right? Grand Theft Auto, if that shit was only on PlayStation, that wouldn't have sold whatever the fuck it sold, like 100 million copies or something.
Yeah.
Like that would be basically every PlayStation owner owning that shit. That didn't even happen, But Brian, what's your take on this as our resident PC gamer?
Should I? Why not? Like they won't. Well, that's the thing. Why not? What's the only con I can see of this is that it won't sell as many consoles. But then looking at the PS4 numbers and looking at the fact that they may have sold more than the competition combined, but yet they still don't have an exclusive up there is still a problem, right? I mean, they have all these many consoles out there, but it seems like the only thing that people are playing on them is Call of Duty. So it seems irrelevant anyway. Like the mass people that buy these consoles seem to not give a damn about exclusives by the look of things. I mean, what? Like it's. I think like the highest selling exclusive on consoles on PS4 is like 20 million, give or take.
Yeah,
It's
Spider-Man, I
okay,
believe.
Yeah.
that's fantastic. But then again, when you have like 100 million out there, and you have like 1 in 5, like compare that to everything else, it's like it's not hitting the numbers. So it's not on the same level, and the charts prove that. So I think it won't help or it won't hurt things if they just say, okay, cool, you know what, we'll put it on PC like 3 months after, 6 months after, fine. Like the people that have a PS4 and a PC, they can just play it on whatever the hell they want, and it won't hurt them as well. And plus, we've already seen that most console sales they happen within the first like 3 months anyway. Like look at I think it was Horizon Zero Dawn. Like
Yeah.
Sony were like thumping their chest about like the first week performance, the first month performance, and then after that they went quiet because we all know that the sales just fell off the cliff because that's what happens. So why not? Like put it on your console 3 months later, put it out on PC, double dip. No one loses.
Yeah.
As
By
far
the
as
way,
I'm
didn't
concerned.
Horizon Zero Dawn end up being one of the best? Says 10 million here. VG charts, so take that how you. Actually, no, there's VG 24/7. So, yeah, 10 million copies sold worldwide. That's it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it drops off the cliff, then just say, okay, cool, we'll put it on other platforms. Like make your like make more hype.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Like, it could give the game a new lease on life. That's why I didn't understand why people were complaining about the game coming to PC and them feeling betrayed by Sony. It's like, bro, you already played the game and got the platinum for it. What the fuck do you care? You know?
Are you gonna? What are you gonna do? Keep
We
buying
all,
the game
we,
over and
we
over
all know
again?
why they're pissed. We all know why they're pissed.
Well, Rico, we talked about this on the show, man, because you know what's going to happen, right? Sony's going to come to their house physically and take away their exclusives, man. That's why they're pissed, It's funny.
No,
They're pissed
Sony's
that
gonna
when
come
they're
there.
arguing with Xbox guys.
Yeah, no, that it's ammo. They're losing ammo in the console war.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Sony's
losing
gonna
ammo.
come by and kick them in the balls.
Right,
because
that's
you
what
know
I'm saying.
what they
Ray,
would-
they're coming by night, son. They're gonna be
And they're
wearing
gonna come
masks.
kick it.
because
Because you know the Japanese, they ninjas, they're gonna come kick you in the balls while you're sleeping.
Go ahead, Rico.
So stupid.
I was gonna say because anytime they're in a debate or argument with an Xbox guy brings up one of their Xbox games. What's the first thing a PlayStation guy was like? Well, I could just turn on my computer and play that right now.
Right.
So now they don't want the Xbox guys using what they have used against them for use.
Yeah.
Against as soon as they mention Horizon Zero Dawn, Xbox guys will be like, well, I could just turn my computer on and play that right now. I don't need a PlayStation to do that. So I definitely feel that is the number one reason why they're pissed, because there's
I agree with
a
you.
game. Yeah, there's a game I'm looking forward to that it's kind of the same thing, but instead of it being PlayStation and PC, it's PlayStation and arcades. It's the game, the Gundam game, the Gundam Extreme Versus that.
Oh yeah.
Where it's always the newest version of the game is always in arcades. The arcade company in Japan have timed exclusive rights to whatever the newest version of the game is, and whatever the previous version is, they'll make a PlayStation version of it and then throw it on there. We always get the leftovers, and right now they just last week they announced that we're getting Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost on.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and that just came. Japan has had that Arcades has had that game since 2016.
But Riku, can I play it on PC?
Yeah, I actually saw a couple people in the YouTube comments like, "Can you please bring this to PC? PC has no good Gundam games." So I saw them in there. But my point is, obviously the arcades do that. The arcades do that because they they're trying to keep the arcades alive. If you could just go home and turn on your PlayStation and play the exact same game you're playing on your you can play in arcades, people won't go into arcades. So it's understandable why the arcades have timed exclusive, because right now, we're getting Maxi Boost on, but the arcades, they have Extreme Versus 2. So it's like they're always going to be ahead of us. So in regards to PlayStation doing that with PC, I could definitely see it being the same way, because it's definitely set it up that way. Whether it's I would say 2.5 years is the furthest you should push it out.
Yeah, that's yeah. I say a year minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I don't think
you
you. I
want-
don't.
you
Well,
want-
like I don't think you want the game to come out day one. I think that
No,
kinda,
definitely not day one.
No.
But a
You
year,
want-
a
you-
year
you-
seems about fair. 3
you
years
want-
definitely put that shit out. You know.
You want at least all the DLC to come out beforehand.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what? You know what?
Wait till the game of the year,
Yeah.
game of the year edition comes out.
Yeah, you know what, Rico? I'm gonna go with you 2 years because after 2 years, you know for a fact that shit ain't selling no more.
Yeah, you know for a fact it's not selling anymore. This is around the time where the game is dirt cheap. It's probably been on PlayStation Plus at least once or about to be.
Yeah.
And by that point, here's the thing: anyone still holding off on playing it, don't have a PlayStation to begin with. They're interested in the game, and they're never going to get a PlayStation. So these are the people that Sony want to capture, not the people that are like, oh well, they're trying to capture the people that would never get a PlayStation. They're always on their PC or they're always on their Xbox. But they see that PlayStation game over there. Yeah, if that was on my console, I would play it. But I'm not going on out of my way to get a PlayStation for it. Those are the people that they want. Those are the people they should be trying to tackle for. And those people would wait all eternity, to get it on. Yeah, to get it on PC, especially by the time it come to PC, they're going to brag about, well, I got all the DLC, I got it in 120 frames per second.
I don't need to play for online.
Yeah, I don't got to play for online. This is the best version. So to them, they're getting a great deal. They don't give a fuck
right now.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck if they got it 2.5 years later. In their eyes, they got the best version. They don't give. It's new to them. Also, it's new to them. They don't give a fuck. So, that's why I said 2.5 years. I think that's a decent amount of time because they won't give a fuck about it. Huh?
Right,
Don't you think that's like way too long? I mean,
no, like I said, to them,
interest?
to like I said, I talk to a decent amount of my PC friends. When they get a game and it's the best version with all the DLC and it runs at the best, if it comes out, they're happy. They're gonna play it. They're gonna. Weren't you going back and playing all your PS3 games a couple years back, and you're just having the time of your life? You didn't give a fuck if they were technically they were new to you, right?
No, I was just cleaning out my backlog.
Yeah, you're cleaning out your backlog, but they were still new to you.
There's a difference.
They're still new to you. Fact or not fact? Are they new to you?
I don't know what you class as new to me, but again,
you've never played the games before, right?
The intent was just going through and just cleaning out the backlog because I said to myself, I want no backlog. So
understandable.
God, I wish I could
the
do
games
that.
new to you.
Yeah, Otaku man, that's not for us, man.
If anyone say that their games are not played before, then yes.
Yes, that's my point.
Then again, they were games I already had purchased beforehand. So they weren't new purchases. They were just purchased before
that's besides
and
the point.
finally got around to playing them. So maybe 2 years afterwards.
That's besides the point. The point is they were new to you.
I know what you're saying. You're basically saying the
When it counts
experience.
as your point,
Yeah, the
it's
experience
besides
is
the
new.
The experience is new.
Yeah,
but
the experience is new.
the game
Yeah, the
isn't.
experience. Yeah, and what I'm saying is that when it does eventually come to PC, they're just going to be happy that it finally comes there anyway. And like I said, it's going to be new to them. They don't give a fuck.
Interesting. Dre, what's your take on this, man?
I mean, I guess the more people I guess playing the game is a good idea from a business standpoint. But I mean, PlayStations have been cheap enough over the last few years. If you really had interest in getting one, you would have gotten one already. They were $199 on Black Friday for a couple of years. You can get them used. You should have got one by now. And with the case of Horizon, I mean, I still haven't gotten far in the game. I got the game when it came out, but I haven't really gotten far in it. But the fact that it comes to PC, who cares? Go ahead. Let more people enjoy the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, Sony's already made their money off of it. So if they make some more money off of going to the other consoles, other platforms, what's the problem?
Yeah, why not, right?
And the I don't know what to call them. The delicate flowers who love their consoles so much that they cannot see the betrayal that these people who are not related to them would do to them. It's mind-boggling. I'm like, shut up, dude. Just shut the fuck up. You have other games to play. Go play them. Who cares if somebody gets to play Horizon on PC or something? Who cares?
Hikey.
Nah, man, don't take away.
Naughty Dog. Gorilla don't care. Gorilla's like, we making more money. That's cool. Hey, whatever. It's like saying, okay, I only want I only want Marvel movies to be shown at AMC theaters from now on.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Or but the thing is, it's like well, I mean, it's kind of like that, but it's like you're specifically trying to give somebody a reason to go to those theaters. So
Yeah.
interesting sort of thing.
It's like with me and Tony and I talked about it. I've never said console exclusives mattered until this particular generation. I've never said console exclusives mattered, but this generation they actually did. And then the fact that if you do a timed exclusive, and then you let another group of gamers play this game, there is no negative to it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what fanboyism you have.
No, there's no.
I don't care what there is no downside.
Their only downside is if you're a console fanboy, you love ammo.
If you're a fanboy and you are clenching to your console in your, I want to be buried with my PS4. Oh, shut up. Just
I want to be buried with my PS4.
I want to shut up, man. I just like the fanboy. Like I said, fanboys have their purpose. Yeah. To the base that their constituents. That's the only purpose they have.
Don't take away my exclusives, Andre. Don't do it.
Dude, my exclusives. My thing is, okay, the exclusives. Everybody's made their money off of them, so let it go. What's the point?
People are fucking dumb, bro.
It's just. I mean, because a lot of people they can't get outside of their own bubble. They can't think of another gamer getting to enjoy the same experience as them. They would hate for some of these PlayStation guys, and even the Xbox guys and Nintendo guys, they're all the same to me now. But I don't understand why you would never like a Mario game on a PlayStation. Why not? I like platformers, so what? Who cares?
Yeah, you don't give a fuck,
nobody cares, but it's just these fanboys. It's all the fanboy flame. It's just stupid.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, again, it all depends on whether they have a product that they're trying to specifically sell. Right?
Yeah.
If there's a product they're trying to sell to get you to go there, they're going to try to give you. They're going to do what like Netflix does and lock down, specific things to them. Same thing with Xbox. Yeah. Xbox, granted, is now moving toward
the service,
a service thing, but they're still locking things down within their service. They're not going to say, "Oh, hey, put this on there."
Yeah, it's like I don't have Amazon Prime and I like stand-ups. Russell Peters has a new stand-up on Amazon. Now I got to go get an Amazon Prime subscription to watch this one stand-up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, it sucks, but I'm still going to do it because I want to watch it. So I don't care. I mean, it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. His next question, he just wants to get our take on what we think about Sony skipping E3. But if you want our take on that, you could check out Throwdown episode 267 where we go in depth on that one.
More power to him.
All right, man. Next up, Praxilness. So his question is, what is the most trivial thing you were impressed by in a video game? It could be visual, an option in a menu, whatever. For example, when Last of Us came out, I was impressed that each individual coat hanger would move independently in a closet. So yeah, what was the most trivial thing you saw in the game that was like, oh shit, this is fucking awesome?
When I was playing Fallout 3 and I spent the whole time just walking everywhere, and then I noticed that you can fucking you can teleport to places.
Okay.
I probably put in like 80 hours into the game just walking from place to place.
Wow.
And the only reason why I kept doing that is because I fucking love the game. If I didn't even care for the game, I would never walk anywhere. But I was like, all right, gotta do it. And then I guess another thing for that same game, I guess that game had a lot of the stuff that I just didn't know. Like had the freaking you can forward through time. Like
you can.
You can go from
you didn't know that from the outset. I did. It's like, oh shit, I got time to kill. Fast forward time.
Not from the outset. It's because those types of games, it's like they have so much to offer, and you just don't know everything. It's hard. It's hard unless you really investigate, or you're just looking things up to see what else it has. But if you're just playing the game, and sometimes you just forget that these features exist.
Yeah, for me, it was. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but the one that comes off to comes at me right now is in Uncharted 2. Remember the train sequence, right? The fact that the fucking furniture and like glasses and dishes were moving independently and crashing and shit. I'm like, this is insane. How are they doing that? And Naughty Dog actually came out and they say that was some crazy tech that I put in there that they never ever had before. And and then I even translated to Uncharted. Actually, no, and also the alcohol bottles, right? They moved. You could see the alcohol moving inside the bottles, right? And then that culminated in Uncharted 3, where in the boat level, there's a pool inside the boat. So think about it, right? You have this one giant environment that's already on top of moving water, and there's moving water inside that environment that's moving on top of water. It's like fucking
Yo, man,
crazy.
physics on physics?
Yes, like how you gonna have physics on physics, man? It's crazy right now, you know?
The one for me, it's Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, I already know what it is. Oh,
yeah, well, what is it?
When you could shoot everything, literally shoot everything in first
you can
person.
literally shoot. You could shoot everything. Like everything had different reactions. Like in other words, you could shoot a glass, and that specific glass would explode. You could shoot like ice out of an ice container, and the ice will melt. All the different pots and pans will move independently. You could shoot through a window, and the window would smash and become a noise-making obstacle that would allow the bad guys to see you, hear that you're there. And also in that game where you could literally shoot the guards in specific.
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
specific parts of their body, and they'll react to it, or they won't use. Like if you shoot a guy's hand or arm out, they won't be able to shoot their gun. You shoot if you shoot the walkie-talkie they have on the back of their body, they can't call for backup.
Yeah, that game messed me up like that, man. And this isn't a game specific, but I remember, or I actually till this day I'm still impressed by where basically, let's say for example, your character's walking on wood, right? And you hear it kind of sounds like feet on wood, and then they transition to grass and it sounds like feet on grass. Or like if they start walking like a shallow lake, you hear it sounds like they're splashing on water. Like that's really cool when they do little things like that. Like, again, it's not a big deal, but like in games like Red Dead Redemption, you really notice that. It's like it really sounds like you're stomping on like a muddy ground and shit, or like a forest and all that. I love shit like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Dre? What are some examples you have of like little things that are like,
Oh man. Well, I mean that's Twilight Princess, and like they do it in Breath of the Wild. But when you're walking around, if you run, it's loud. If you just barely walk, you can really sneak up on people. And just like Breath of the Wild, they really do that really well in that game. You could hear yourself, and like my first experience of something like that, where I'm looking at a game like, okay, this is more than a game, and it's gonna sound crazy to you guys, but it was Animal Crossing.
Oh, really?
Like I turned the game off, and the world kept going. I went, wait a minute, whoa, what's going on? And that game just never stops. It doesn't matter what version you have. You could, if you plant a tree, and you don't go back to the game for a couple of days, that tree is fully grown. And anything you do is automatic. And that game just never, it keeps going. Everything you do just keeps going. And you're like, when did this happen? Oh, this happened while you were playing the game. It's like, oh. And then they actually go, well, you haven't played the game in a while. You okay? Everything good? Okay. And, and it's just little things like that is in games that just, it just takes people's imagination. It just makes you feel good playing games. It's like, you just notice little things like that. It's just, there's so many games that do that now. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Riku.
Honestly, I was trying to sit down and think of a good one, but honestly, one of the ones that stuck with me is not really like a technical thing like a lot of you guys on are, but he said etc. at the end. So for me, it was when I was playing. I think it was Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. It was either the first one or the second one, but you're just collecting the the gold bolts or platinum bolts or whatever you want to call them for its respective game. But after you collected all of them in one specific level, Clank started to like dance, and they did the Jack and Daxter music behind it, and then Ratchet was looking at him like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, nothing. So I don't know, I think I just like the crossover of little Easter eggs that Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter had during that era. It really stood out to me a lot. I liked it.
The thing about those two games is they were literally on the same engine. So like they were literally handing that. I think they were in the same like building, and they were just handing that engine back and forth.
It was great, man. It was like they're like twin brother franchises. Like Sly was there too, but those two are really kind of like running around and Ratchet, and you just see a poster of Jack and Daxter, and vice versa. They do a lot of things to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really do that now because Naughty Dog ain't really making Jack games. But yeah,
put a Spider-Man
like
thing in
that.
there now.
I know, right?
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, everyone knows that I have talked about this game because what else?
The Witcher.
Witcher 3, of course. Witcher 3 is on it's on its own level that I just love. For example, you can watch Geralt's hair grow in real time, and it actually just like grows. It's something that you don't expect to see in games because most games just don't do that anymore. It's like, hey, your hair grows. There's this one mission which I think is really funny that they did that. Basically, these three guys, you can intimidate them and then confuse them into counting to like 100 while you steal their loot. So the guys will actually count to 100, and then they'll wake up from their confusion and then be like, "Hey, where did the guy go?" Or "Are you still here? Like, let me just fuck you up real quick." So yeah, it's a small thing, but they actually count to 100. It's like the fuck. And my favorite one by far is the fact that your horse Roach, he'll actually go off and like find fruits if you just leave him alone. So he just wander around, find fruits, find water, and then just do like horse things. Like he actually does horse things because he's a horse. Makes sense,
He does
right?
horse things.
Do you know how like most horses in games are just like stand there and just look retarded? Like no, he actually goes off and does stuff.
Well, it's also like the one in Shadow of the Colossus. Like he'll like he'll if you leave him alone, he'll just kind of run around. He'll like drink some water, or he'll like play around and stuff like that. Just while you're doing your own thing.
Yo, Brian, I got another one for you, man. I know you really like the way the sunlight hit the snow in the Division, in the first one.
Oh, that just reminds me. Dragon's Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
I have to bring that one back.
Another one of the Brian's greatest hits.
And the greatest hit for one simple reason: it's one of the few games that actually has a nighttime. Like most nighttimes in games, it's just like, hey, it's kind of dark, but you can still see. Whereas in this game, if you go out at night, you can't see more than 3 feet in front of you.
Oh shit!
Unless you have like a candle.
You need to have like a torch or like a lantern or something, or else you're just screwed. And I love that. It's like wow, like actually makes nighttime intimidating. Like you're in a fancy world, there's monsters outside, and it's nighttime, and you go out. Chances are they will fuck you up because you can't see them, but chances are they can see you.
Yeah, that's right, man. They got the eyes, man. Another one I just thought about.
It's always permanently moonlight in most games.
Yeah, pretty much, and Star Night and all that. Another one, and I love this because I didn't realize it, when I was playing the game, and then I think Insomniac put out a video. It's like, whoa, Spider-Man, right? Basically, they have different dialogue, right? Depending on whether you're standing still or moving, right? If you're moving, like Spider-Man will be like, for example, let's say he's talking to Mary Jane, right? He's standing still. Hey, MJ, how you doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm on my way home. I'll be, I picked up all the shit you wanted from the groceries, right? That's what he's saying when he's staying still. If he's swinging, hey MJ, how you doing? Yeah, I'm on my way. Like he'll talk
crazy,
man. And also the music was dynamic too. Like if you're standing still, there's almost no music at all. As soon as you jump off the building,
it speeds. It slowly comes in the more that you start to do things. It starts off like one portion of it, and then after that the theme comes in, and that once you're in full like Spider-Man mode swinging around, that's when all the music goes all like
yeah, which is really awesome. I just like the fact that he's winded while he's talking to you while he's moving, but if he's standing still, the exact same dialogue, it'll be presented completely different. That is so cool.
The one in Uncharted 3, which was also pretty good, which was like when you're so like it's in that semi-open worldish part of open part of Uncharted 3 where they're in the car.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you'll go like they'll be telling a story and something like that, and then Rick will be hold on, I need to do something. And that's when you jump out if you're jumping out of the car, and then he goes, then you jump back in again. And you're like, so where was I again?
Yeah,
I
like when
remember
they
that.
Continue from where they stopped.
Grand Theft Auto 5 had that, and so did Red Dead Redemption. Well, like, wait, what were you saying? You know, like when something happened. That's kind of cool.
Speaking of Grand Theft Auto 5, that's the thing that gets me about that game, dude. I can sit there and listen to JB Smooth's radio all day.
Bro, as a matter of fact, bro, I've been doing that since like GTA 3. Like, I'll just listen to like whatever.
I remember GTA 3 and stuff. They had the music and stuff, but I was like, man, they just went all out. I'm like, and Big Boy's in it. I'm like, man, come on.
Yeah, it's the talk shows like Laszlo shit. I would always listen.
I can listen to that all day.
I'll
that
just park my car and just listen. You know, it's just hilarious, man. And even if I'm going to a mission, I'm like, hold on, let me finish this segment because I'm listening. I get into this shit, you know.
You don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, you know, man. And even the commercials are wise. Like, hold on, I gotta hear
those
next commercial.
Man.
Oh,
that's
man.
just another thing. It's like these game designers are just that's why gaming is so immersive now, because they just do little things like that they took care in doing stuff like that to make it okay. This is how it is when I'm really driving. Like this, it's like you don't want to miss anything. So you just park the car, just wait. It's like, yeah, I just love that.
It's awesome.
That's why I love games, man. That's why I love games now. They just keep doing more and more stuff to make you just go, man, these guys are crazy.
Yeah, by the way, shout out.
One.
Yeah, no, just real quick, I want to give a shout out to SSGH Shallot for following us, man. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Brian.
Another one is DMC5. How the cutscenes, they start differently depending on how you enter them. It's like if you enter a room just walking, then the guy just walks in there. Whereas like if you're jumping around or you're running, then the guy actually like runs into like the cutscene and then like slows down. It's like a tiny thing, but it makes a huge difference. Because like, oh wow, he actually is in the cutscene, not just like, hey, he's now a cutscene, so sit down and wait. You know?
Oh, cool. Okay. Shallot is fine. Okay, I'll just call you Shallot. Yeah, see, Brian, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. It's like a little thing that goes a long way, man. You know, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to go back to the first game that fucked me up with that instance. First Metal Gear. I've talked about this a million times, man. When you leave the fucking, the hangar and shit. It's not the hangar, the dock, right? You leave the dock, and the credits are still rolling. I'm like, what the fuck? The credits are still, and I'm playing the game. I remember because Manny was playing the game at that point, right? I was watching him play, and I was like, wait, you're playing and the credits are still rolling? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, do a circle, and he has Snake do a circle. I'm like, what the fuck? This is crazy right now, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because awesome. you thought it was still in like sort of cinematic.
Yeah, because up to that point, every game, if you saw credits, it was just a pure cinematic, right? He was playing the fucking game. It's insane. And even Metal Gear Solid 3, what fucked me up about that game was you played the game for like 2 or 3 hours, right? And then the intro starts. Like, oh shit, that was a prologue I just played. You were
playing the prequel game, Virtuous Mission.
I was playing the James Bond intro, basically, you know. I love that shit,
the beginning of Her Majesty's Secret Service right there.
Yeah, I love that shit. All right, man, let's move on here to Black Metal Gamer. Black. All right, so his first question is, what consoles at launch? Oh, Andre, man, you get ready for this one. I want you to answer first. What consoles at launch had the worst first-party controllers? And he said, which consoles had the worst first-party controllers, and how would you improve them? His picks are the Atari 5200 and the CDI.
Oh God, the CDI! Oh my God, that was shit. Yeah. The worst controller.
CDI controller, though.
By the way, Throwdown, the only gaming podcast that regularly talks to you about the 3DO and the CDI. There you go, man.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead,
my CD. Oh man. Worst controller, first part. You know what, man? I'm probably gonna go. But the 5200 was pretty bad. That's pretty fucked up. The one that I hated the most, and it's gonna sound crazy, was the ColecoVision controller.
What did that one look like?
It had a keypad on it, and it had the joystick. The joystick was fine, but it would get laggy after a few minutes. That was like the one I was like, it was the games were great, but the controller was just ass. I was like, man, I don't even know how I can play this crap. Wow, yeah. But I don't know, CDI. That's a terrible. That was just a terrible system. Period.
It was, yeah. That was bad.
God, Yeah, I wish I was here for the 3DO thing, man. I miss my 3DO.
Yeah.
Mine died. Yeah. I had to say, yeah, ColecoVision and then CDO had to be next because you never knew what buttons to put. Like the buttons did certain things, but you never knew what the instruction manual never told you what buttons did what. They never told you on screen what did what. So you're just like, okay, and you're just pushing 9 and 1 and 3. And you're like, okay, this does this, and you're like, okay, this is stupid.
Especially if you didn't have the user manual.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, oh man, it was terrible. The system was great, but the controller was just ass.
Yeah. All right, Riku.
I don't think I have one actually.
Really?
Yep.
So every system you've played has had good controllers. Well, you've been playing PlayStation, so you've been set, you know?
Yeah, basically. I would say that when I went to a friend's house, I wasn't too fond of the Nintendo 64. I'm like, I don't have 3 arms. How am I supposed to hold this controller? It's like you basically choose 2 out of 3 of the handles that you want to choose. I'm like, that's stupid. So,
Yo, actually, you gave me my segue right now, man. I'm gonna say 3 controllers. Nintendo fans aren't gonna like me right now, man.
Nintendo got some crazy ass
Nintendo 64, GameCube, and the Wii. Horrible fucking controllers. Because of those controllers, I didn't mess with Nintendo for decades, right? And
you didn't like the GameCube?
No, I hate the GameCube. Was actually worse than the N64 one. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
It definitely wasn't worse.
Yeah, but by the way, I'm not saying it's worse by like a mile. It's like it's you know, like the N64 one was horrible. You know?
No, because I remember that E3 when the N64 came out, I was at Nintendo. Was just like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? Oh, you hold it from the middle. Oh, okay, I get it. That's still kind of weird, but okay. Yeah, that was. I give you that on the N64, but GameCube was fine to me.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that one either.
I'm
that
a
was
big
weird.
fan of the GameCube.
He didn't like the big win button.
Yeah, the big. That's what I called it. The win button in the middle. You know. Oh, so Nintendo. That's the reason I didn't fuck with Nintendo for decades, right? And just to throw a little bit of a story in there, I was talking to Danny Pena about this the other day. So when they first showed the Switch, and it's funny because that's actually recorded here on Throwdown. We did our live reactions, right? When they first showed the Switch and they showed the Joy-Cons, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go again with Nintendo with these dumbass controllers. Oh well, I don't care. So as they showed that Pro controller on screen, I'm like, hold on a second, you have my attention, Nintendo. You know. If it wasn't for that Pro controller, I wouldn't be fucking with the Switch. I cannot stand the Joy-Cons. Horrible.
Yeah, I can't. My hands are too big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm American, you know.
Dude, I have like my 3DS.
Westerners. Let's just be
on my 3DS, on my new 3DS XL. I actually have the controller contraption for that.
Damn.
It has to. I have to have something that big. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's bad. All right, Brian.
I'm the same place as Riku, so I can't answer.
The Young Bucks, man. See, Andre, see these guys, man. They benefited from the fruits of our suffering that we had to go through with all these shitty ass controllers. You know,
oh man, oh god, there's been some shitty.
Because controllers are generally good. Yeah, Xbox and PlayStation controllers are legit. You know,
I mean, they got it right at first. I remember the Odyssey controller. That was. I was like, what the hell is this crap?
Man.
You overlaid stuff on the game on top of the controller. So it gave you buttons and stuff, things to do. And I was just like, so am I going to look at the screen or am I going to look at this controller? What am I going to do? And it's just, that. I don't know.
That was way before my time. Shit.
Oh, man, that was my first console.
Oh, wow.
That was my first in-home console. It was just like, what in the world? The games were cool, but I was like, what the hell am I doing with this thing? Like, I mean, they all had and like some of the role playing games. Like, I mean, one of the role playing games I can't remember the name of it it came with like dice and all kinds of crap. And I was like, what am I doing with all this stuff?
Yo,
check this a video game, not a board game. Yeah. What is this?
Check this out. I'm looking it up right now. The Magnavox Odyssey costs $100, right? But inflated for today's money, it was a $600 console.
Oh yeah.
Damn, man. Carlos, man, what was the worst controller?
I would have said N64, but that's. I mean, are we talking just in general or off the like
for you
when it launched?
Your personal.
In general, be personal.
Yeah.
Actually, it's between two, man. It's between the N64 and the Switch, the Joy-Cons,
Yeah,
in particular. Joy-Con boys, man.
Yeah, Joy-Con boys, man.
The N64. The reason why it's not going to be N64 is because the only issue that I had with it was the freaking thumbstick that just stopped working. You know, like that thumbstick, you wore it down quick, man. That shit lasted what 50 stars in Mario, and then you're done.
Damn.
And but everything else with the controller is fine. The Z button in the back is pretty cool. The shoulder buttons are pretty good. Everything else is fine. The Joy-Cons, man. That on the other hand, they like you guys. Yeah, man. Like you guys mentioned, they're too small. My fingers, like, it just feels uncomfortable. It's not like, you know, you play the shout out to Riku Vita, and your hands get cramped after a little bit of time. But at least at the very beginning, they're kind of fine. The Joy-Cons, they just don't feel right to me.
No,
like
they don't.
There's something about them that they just off. Like as soon as I start playing a game, unless it's like maybe if it's a 2D game, it's fine. But if I'm playing Mario and playing Breath of the Wild, they just don't feel right. And like Tony mentioned, that Pro controller, that was a day one purchase for me because I needed that. So yeah, the Joy-Cons.
I think I bought that shit before the system. You know, it's like that.
Because they went on sale before the actual consoles, right?
I also did the same thing for the PS4. PS4 I had the controller before I had the system.
Nah.
It's crazy, man. All right, moving on to...
Wait a minute.
Oh, Manny, you didn't go. My bad, man.
Here you go. You forget about me.
I forgot about my co-host, man. What's up?
So, for me, it's a few. I'm gonna say the original 2600. You know, the 2600.
Oh, yeah.
The joystick on that thing was just not good. Like it would just like I remember like you just like it almost like you had to break the damn thing to get certain things to move. That's how bad it was. The second one being the PlayStation 1 controller. Wasn't very happy with that. The D-pad on that thing was just horrible. They eventually got better as they started making new ones, but that first PlayStation 1 controller was not very good.
Before the DualShock.
Oh yeah, DualShock was a lot better than the first one because they did something to the D-pads because it was like, you know, me and Tony back in those days, we were, you know, fighting game
guys, yeah.
And like that controller was just the worst to play Street Fighter Alpha or any of those games on.
Yeah, you couldn't, like, doing a Hadouken was like almost impossible. You know?
It was almost impossible on that. The other one, Nintendo 64, I wasn't very impressed with that one. As much as I loved the 3DO, that controller sucked too.
That was not a good controller.
Yeah, that one did suck.
And also I would say the first Sega Genesis controller, I wasn't very happy with that one either. Yeah, but here's the thing. And this is only because of the D-pads on those things. A lot of those are D-pad problems. Like it's just they just did not react fast enough. And like especially depending on for the Sega Genesis, it depending on which version of it, revision they did of it, the stuff inside it got cheaper. So like that big fat controller was like on a newer Genesis was horrible. But when they came out with that 6-button controller, that was a perfect controller.
Yeah, that was legit.
That was much better than the other stuff.
And then that laid the groundwork for what would be the greatest controller, in my opinion, of all time, the Sega Saturn controller.
Man, you are not even playing. You are not even playing.
That is the controller right there, man, bar none. You know,
and I would also say the Knights controller was kind of shitty too.
Yeah, that analog one. Yeah,
I think the improvement on that, the one
Dreamcast,
that one.
Dreamcast controller is fucking good, man.
Yeah, Dreamcast controller was dope. Yeah, I remember. I still have my analog Saturn controller.
Yeah, that and the Dreamcast controller paved the way for the Xbox controller. You know.
Yeah, that was. I just wish somebody would make it like something like a VMU. That was just. I missed that.
VMU was awesome. Those. You know.
That was it.
Yeah. All right, man, let's move on. What third-party mascots do you feel are iconic and or very important in gaming? Examples are Pac-Man, Earthworm Jim, Mega Man, Lara Croft, and so on.
There's so many.
Yeah, like third-party mascots. Was Geralt a mascot for?
Geralt, yeah, man, he got his own show.
Yep.
I get you could kind of consider him a mascot for like this generation, you know.
Wait, what were the examples he named?
Oh, the examples he named were
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, Earthworm Jim, Mega Man, Lara Croft, and so on. They have to be
Third
third
party,
party,
third party.
and they don't have to be cartoony. You know, it could be like
I got a perfect one.
Right.
Ryu, Ken and Ryu from Street
yeah,
Fighter.
Yep. There you go. Chun-Li could
got
also
one.
kind of be a mascot too. You know.
Yep.
This is probably my favorite third-party mascot. That boy Rayman. Yeah,
Rayman,
let's go.
Oh, there you go.
Rayman. You know.
Everybody always want to hate on Rayman, especially now these days. But
You can't hate on him.
Wait,
You
wait,
can't
really?
hate on.
I got.
oh yeah,
You know, I got
especially
two
the
others.
Nintendo guys, man.
Yeah.
When they were talking about who should come in Smash next, and there's a small group of people that were like, look, we should get Rayman. They're like, fuck Rayman, no.
Wow.
You know,
Rayman would
Yeah.
be
What
perfect
the
for
hell?
Smash,
These
man.
people are crazy, man.
Man, send me a link to that chat. I want to get
Yeah,
in there.
Rico, who you hanging? Well, actually, I know who you're
Oh,
hanging
these
with.
dudes.
yeah, you know,
That's some lame. That's some just lame stuff right there, man. That's crazy. Rayman is dope.
Yo,
definitely
imagine
as far
him in
as third
Smash.
party.
That would be crazy. And I don't
He
even
fits
like
right
Smash
in.
Brothers. I don't even.
Oh,
like
he'd
Smash
have the
Brothers.
range too with the oh man.
Mm-hmm. He fits right in. I
Riku-
don't know what the hell was going on with them.
Riku, you
And
need.
you know what? He
need-
probably is one of those 6.
Riku, you need new friends, bro.
yeah,
This is like, come on, man. Oh God. Shit. I'm having a little bit of a hard time because you guys are coming up with some good ones. Actually, I had one, but anyway, Carlos, go ahead, man. I'm having a brain fart right now. I'll remember later.
Well, I said Gerald and Ken and Ryu, but also fucking Leon and the Redfield siblings, I guess.
Yeah, for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I'm forgetting their names right now, but pretty much the little cute things from Persona 4 and 5, the little mascots.
Oh, the mascots. Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a Palico. That's a mascot. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
Palico. Yeah, those things, especially with World.
Yeah, man, for real. Manny.
Let's see.
Come on, Manny. Come on, Manny.
What are you saying? You mean
You know. It's the obvious. It's right in your. It's right.
you
You know, right in your face.
You mean Bill and Lance from Contra?
Man,
Yo, man.
he doesn't want to say it.
What? He's not a mascot.
Yeah, he is. He was on the Smash game.
Yeah, he's a mascot for Konami, man.
He's a Konami. All right,
Say it.
Simon Belmont.
Did you I'm gonna respect the shit out of you, man.
There we go. I concur. I'll give you that one. I like that.
Simon
As a
Belmont
Castlevania
and Manny doesn't want to say it's Solid Snake, man. Just say it.
Bomberman, of course.
It's Bomberman.
Oh, heck yeah.
Actually, Bomberman is
Okay.
actually,
Hey,
yeah.
Bomberman's a good one.
I got one that'll mess you all up.
Oh,
Totally Frogger. Come on.
damn, man, he's hitting with some good ones right now. All right, go ahead.
By the way, those are all Konami ones.
Yes. What about Pyramid Head? I guess that is a mascot too. You know,
It could be it.
Yeah.
Andre, man.
No, it's what's the mascot? It's that bloody pink rabbit thing
Oh, yeah,
from Silent Hill.
yeah. Andre, fuck us up, man. What's yours?
Bonk.
Bonk, bringing it back.
Bonk. Bonk.
Oh.
Only reason I'm mentioning Bonk is because I want Konami to bring that fucking game out.
Yeah, well, it's fun. It's hilarious, but they own all that stuff.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Konami, man, come on, man. That game was 80% done.
They could raid their fucking There's so many things that they could raid right now. If they ever wanted a fighting game, they could pull up Bloody Roar, or any of the other Hudson games the fighting games that they had. They own the rights to.
Yep.
They don't do it.
I'm right now. I'm just ready for that. I'm ready for that TurboGrafx Mini. I'm just waiting. I'm just ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, I have it some pre-order.
I can't wait.
By the way, Sketch says the Shiba Inu is the real mascot of Silent Hill.
The ending, the dog ending.
That shit is crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, Brian.
I say Doom Guy.
Doom
That
guy.
is a mascot. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep,
Doom guy.
that's about it. Really.
Or as they call him
Nothing
now, the Doom Slayer.
Doom Slayer.
Doom Slayer.
Oh man, give me Doom Eternal, son. I can't fucking wait.
You played like a preview on that, didn't
No,
you?
I did not. Jordan got to play it. I'm jealous as a motherfucker. I told him to his face, Andre. So my editor, Jordan Miner, he got to play Doom Eternal, a preview of it, and I saw him at the Video Game Awards, New York Game Awards the other day, and I told him straight, I'm like, yo, Jordan, man, I love you, but I'm fucking jealous of you right now, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because usually what happens is Jordan and I, we both cover video games for geek.com, but him and I we're not really, for the most part, we're not really interested in the same game. So we're not stepping on each other's toes, but occasionally he'll get something. I'm like, fucking, Oh man.
See, sometimes we'll get review codes for like all kinds of shit. And sometimes, cause I know a lot of people at Sega and Atlas, and sometimes I'll just be like, well, if you really want to throw me a solid, you can really toss me 1-2. He goes, okay, we'll toss you 1-2. So we'll have a review popping up, and I'm playing the game too, and I can't say anything about it either. But it's like Persona 5. Oh man, I was so happy when I got that. I was just like,
that's awesome, dude.
I'm just like, but it was like we got it weeks before. I mean, like almost a month before it came out. And I was like, I can't say nothing. I can even show that I have it. Yeah, I can even show that I have it. It was, oh man, but it's so good sometimes to be in this business. Sometimes, like you can, especially when you've been in it as long as I have, you might be able to go, hey man, you throw me a bone, and I'll shout you out.
Oh,
okay,
I've done that before, man. And actually, no, in recent years, I don't even need to do that. Like people, since they know me and shit, they'll send me one of the coolest things that happened. I can say this on air. So Jordan, he got the review code for Red Dead Redemption, right? When everybody else got it, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's gonna review it. I was like, oh, I was a little bummed, but I'm like, oh, buy the game. It's Rockstar. I got to give him my support,
Right.
I bought the game, digitally through PlayStation, and then the next day on launch day, right, I get this fucking package from Rockstar with a note. Thank you for the years of support, Tony. I'm like, oh shit. So Andre,
special edition.
Yeah. So Andre, I was there like, hold on, I just got Red Dead Redemption, and I do not have to review this. I could just play for fun. You know how because you know how it is when you get in for a review, you have to go into it mentally differently than you would just playing it for fun. I got to play Red Dead Redemption
problem with
for 2 weeks it actually was like 3 weeks just for fun, just for my enjoyment.
I remember those Rockstar press packages. Oh my god, those were awesome.
Yeah, Rockstar.
Yeah, I remember. It's like I have to get into a whole thing. That's the thing now. If I'm reviewing games so much, I've been reviewing games so long that it's hard for me to, like, if I go watch a movie, the review's already in my head as soon as I walk in the theater.
Yeah.
The title's in my head. I'm watching it and I'm typing the review out in my head while I'm still enjoying it, but I'm writing a review in the same. And I'm trying to get out of that mode. I haven't written anything in a while because I'm trying to get out of that mode because it's kind of ruining the experience. I'm still enjoying stuff, but it's like I'm looking at it as a reviewer, and I cannot get out of that mindset.
It's difficult.
It sucks.
Yeah, I don't really suffer that when it comes to anything outside of gaming. Like, thankfully,
no.
But when it comes to gaming,
I review everything. I review all kinds of stuff. So it's everything. A book, a comic book, anything, TV shows, anything. I'm just like, can I not get out of it? People are like, oh, that's awesome. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, because you're analyzing. You're not really enjoying it. You're just analyzing.
I'm still enjoying it because I always go into everything objectively. Like I go in with no expectations, but I'm sitting there going through and I'm dissecting what I want to say, and I'm like, as I'm enjoying it, it's crazy. Just if you do game journalism for a living or whatever, take some time and step away from it and enjoy stuff on your own. Away from it because it'll mess you up.
Yeah, that's a fact right now, man. All right, so moving on here, G Megaforce. By the way, these are the last 2 questions of the show. So if you guys want to ask us any more questions in the chat, drop them in there, and we'll answer them live. I'm looking at you, Sketch. All right, so G Megaforce's first question is, why do video game protagonists talk to themselves so much? Same reason some comic book characters think or talk to themselves so much, because you need some kind of monologue in there just to keep things interesting, Yeah. Or to explain things to people,
Exactly. The thing is, it's like how else do you explain certain things? That's why they always they've been teaming a lot of protagonists up with somebody else. So it's not like he's just talking to himself all the damn time.
You know what's funny though? It seems like every time I play Uncharted, it seems like Nathan Drake is trying to make Nathan Drake laugh. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that. Oh man, you're the only person outside of myself who's actually thought that. I've said that. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, do you not listen to him? It's like he's trying to do a stand-up routine in the middle of the game. I'm like, he's trying to make you laugh. It's so, oh my god.
Yo, man, I'm like, I understand. Like, I obviously, it's not a complaint. Like, I understand why they're doing it, but it's like, it's just funny to think about it in those ways. It's like, why does he always have to be this witty when he's by himself?
Especially 3.
Yeah,
Uncharted 3 and you're like, because I look at him, I'm like, man, Nathan Drake is the luckiest motherfucker ever. You go through all that shit, and you're just like, at least the meal was good. Or what? I'm like, what are you talking? Yeah, it's like that whole airplane sequence. I'm like, dude, you should have not survived that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, oh, I got sand in my shoe. Whatever. Oh, whatever. I'm just like, whatever, dude. God, it's so funny.
Yeah, Nathan Drake, to me, I just find it scary how he'll say things I'm thinking at the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Usually it's, oh shit, we'll both say it at the same time. Or actually, my favorite is, there's still more of these guys? I thought I killed them all, you know? I'm like, oh shit. Like, we both said at the same time. Like, didn't I kill all you guys? It's hilarious, man. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason protagonists need to talk to themselves just so games they're not just silent all the time, you know? That used to work back in the NES days, you know, but nowadays you can't do that.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, like, you know, and I mean, there's still a lot of games sort of do it, but it also makes it a little bit weird. You know, where they're odd, where I feel like in Kojima's case, with certain characters, they're kind of silent to a fault.
Yes.
You know, like it happens, especially with Venom Snake in the last Metal Gear game, and Sam Porter Bridges, like where the people are just be like, "Oh my god, thank you so much, you saved my life," blah blah blah, and he's just like, I'm like, come on, say something, be like, "Hey man, no problem, sorry about that," you know, like just something. He's just like quiet to a fault.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you got this big name Hollywood actor. Get him to talk more.
Yeah, let's say some shit. Like, you know, like he's driving around. The only time he fucking talks is when he gets on the goddamn Norman Reedus ride bike. Fucking motherfucker can't shut up about the goddamn show, but throughout most of the game he can't say, "Oh, no problem," you know, "Hey, glad to be a help," you know, something like that to the people that he's with. But he wants to talk about the dumb bike. He's like, you get on the bike, he's like, "Yeah, man, I want to be like, this is just like Norman Reedus' ride." I'm like, oh, come on. The most you have to say.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like definitely, like, yeah, exactly what we said. There's just
I don't think there's much more to add to this. All right, this last question, unless we get any more questions, is actually going to be a pretty interesting one for us. Kind of deep. All right, does your age and current life situation change what you look for in video games? Ooh, man. By the way, Sketch, thank you for the question. We will answer that. Let's start with Carlos, man, because you are probably the guy on the show who games the least out of all of us. So why don't you start us off? If you're here, because he may have been called off to work. We were worried about that before. He's muted. All right, Riku, you start us off, bro.
Answer to that, I would say, is yes. I'm at a point where I don't really feel like I should be playing like multiplayer games. In regards to competitive multiplayer games, I could play a co-op game here and there, especially if I'm making progress through the game and completing it. But in regards to, like, I feel the only game I can do that with as of right now is Gundam. But any other games, like all these battle royale games and shit like that, I personally feel like I'm wasting my time if turning on a battle royale game and hopping in there with your boys. Where are we dropping, boys? And it just feels like I'm wasting my time. I would much rather be playing some type of story-driven game or a JRPG, because you know what I'm doing in the background, Tony, man.
Yeah.
So something that inspires me and makes me that I take away from it other than a W, So that's just me personally. So it definitely, my
Did you
you know,
play
all of
those
that.
games beforehand? Did you play a lot of
I
games like that
I
before?
did. I always had at least one to two go-to games where I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. I just turn on the game and I'll just start playing it, you know. But
Mhm.
not anymore. The only game I'll do that with, like I said, is the Gundam game. But that's just one game, and I usually only do that like maybe twice a month. So yeah.
Yeah, Manny.
Yeah, I definitely, I always say this that Dragon Quest 8 was probably the last of the turn-based sort of old school RPGs that I've played in years. After that point, my life, that was like I was 25, I think. At that point in time, my life had gotten so busy because I was, starting to work, going to school, going to college, and all that sort of stuff. So I just didn't have the time to play those sorts of linked games anymore. And so yeah, like as much as I enjoy playing those games, it's just my life hadn't just can't sustain having such a long sort of title. And even now, like playing a game like Death Stranding, and last year I was playing Kingdom Hearts, it took me so long to beat those games, you know. So it's more or less like that, where it's like I just the game lengths and stuff like that have I miss the sort of 6 hour sort of experience where you play a game for a little bit and then you're done. Now it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours every single game. From Spider-Man to Death Stranding to any of the other ones. Because they all want to do open worlds.
Yeah, Brian.
Mm, I would say it does to most people, but to me, well, so far, I don't think it has on me, but I can see it on other people. Because I noticed that quite a lot of people, they really connected with like the older father figure, like Kratos and Joel and whatnot, because they themselves were fathers. So I would say that as a whole, yes, it does affect the type of stuff that you buy, but so far with me, I just seem to just buy what the hell I want. If something looks good, then I'll buy it. So, yeah, that's my answer. Half yes, half no. Depends on how you look at it.
All right, Dre. What about you? Does your age and current life situation change what you look for in games?
Um, it doesn't really change what I look for in games. I just don't have the time that I used to. I mean, I remember 4 or 5 hour Street Fighter battles with, passing the controllers around and playing, and then like I'll be lucky to get like that's why I had to start Monster Hunter over again because I don't even know where I am. I have it's like I haven't played in so long. I don't get a chance to play like I want, and I think I have gamer ADD. I can't stick with one game for. I'll play this game for spurts, and then I have to go to the next game or something else. But as far as like the content and stuff, my tastes are pretty much the same. It's just I don't have time to play,
Hmm.
and and I'm trying to unlearn the reviewer's mentality. So I'm actually picking a lot of games now that are out of my element. Like I'm actually getting back into like multiplayer stuff and like Call of Duty. Like I'm getting into like a lot of like I'm actually going to pick up Fortnite again for a little bit just to
Oh
get
wow.
back into because I'm trying to get out of that mode because I play Tony, I play all kind of weird stuff. I
Yeah,
play
you're all
the
over the
most
place. Yeah.
I'm all over the place. I'm trying to get more mainstream stuff just to get my head out of the game a little bit because if it's not a shoot 'em up, some kind of action game or action adventure game, or sometimes like I'm back. I mean, I've been a JRPG guy for decades, and I kind of slowed down on that, and I'm actually trying to pick that back up too. So it's just, I basically it comes down to play what you enjoy. As long as you enjoy it, your lifestyle can be whatever have. You can be as busy as you want, but as long as you get the chance to have fun while you're playing, at least that's the key because
The
that'll help ease the tensions of whatever you're going through in your life.
the one
So
thing
that get
the one thing about time is I think is sort of accepting that it's going to take a long time to do something now.
oh yeah,
Like you can't like obviously you're older, you have things in your life, you have kids, you have a job, you have all this stuff sort of stuff going on at the same time. It just means that you can't be fully a part of the conversation when everybody's ranting and raving at it, 2 months earlier or 3 months earlier,
Yeah, you
And
got to take
that's
it takes you months to beat a game.
yeah, it takes me months to beat a game, whether because finding the time or whatever, work or whatever. So it's like, for me, I think a lot of my me currently is just kind of coming to terms with that. I probably won't be able to be a part of those cool conversations back when everybody else is playing it. So everybody are already done and finished with Death, at least on the show that have played it, have already finished Death Stranding. I'm still going through the game, and
Right.
that means that I can't, we can have those little conversations, but it's not going to be like, it's not like, the water cooler conversation.
Right.
Everybody's already done and moved on to the next.
You're not as versed as everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, obviously, you guys know it's a little different now because games. This is gonna sound weird because I don't really play games I don't want to play, because every game I play, I choose to play it, right? But yeah. I don't really have the luxury of playing games for pleasure anymore like I used to. Granted, I'm doing that now with Monster Hunter just because there's no games coming out right now. But generally speaking, and I don't want this to sound like I'm complaining, by the way, if it sounds like that, but I cannot play games just for the sake of playing it. I play games because that's what makes me money, right? So it's kind of like it's like a conveyor belt. But it's like my mouth's open, and remember that one cartoon? It's like somebody was stuck in hell and they kept dropping fucking like food in their mouth or something. I kind of feel like that, although it's not really forced. It's more like they lay a buffet table in front of me. I take a bite out of this like one cake. I'm like, damn, that's a good cake. I want to eat more. Oh shit, I got to eat this next cake now, and review that, So
right.
So basically, so my gaming habits are changed for that. So the thing is, like, if you were to remove me from the gaming industry or whatever, and I'm just a regular gamer, I would still think my tastes are the same generally, except for open world games. I've kind of gotten sick of those, But the thing is, it always takes out one special open world game and me go, oh, that's why I love this shit. But I remember 2015, there were so many open world games. I got sick of them, Drake. Sick of them.
It
was too much. But then again, when I played Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm like, oh, this is why I love this shit. This is fucking amazing, So, nowadays,
I haven't even. I started that game slightly, and I got anxiety from it because there was just so much to do in it.
Well, that's the reason I'm not touching stuff like Witcher. I want to play The Witcher. I just don't have the luxury of going back, right? And then also because I play games for work, when I'm free, I'm not trying to play a game. I'm reading or I'm writing. Some other stuff Ricky knows about. So, yeah, man, like. Again, not trying to sound too down on it, because I genuinely do love my job. Like, it's weird. It's like, on the one hand, it's like it does suck that I can't play the games I want, but when I sit down, every single time when I sit down and write that review, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. I like giving my opinion on shit and just craft, like perfecting my craft, like becoming a better writer and stuff. That still gives me thrills, like basically.
You're where I was where I am when I was about like my 20s, like early 20s. That's when I was in the thick of all. That's when I was going to CES and hanging out with the guys at EGM and Game Fan and Game Informer and all these, and going to all these events and playing games with these guys and going, okay, this is where I'm at. And then you start playing all this stuff or reviewing all this stuff. You're like, and the thing about it is, I was still independent, but I was still doing it like, okay, I'm punching in, I'm playing this, I'm punching in, I'm reading this, I'm punching in, I'm watching this. And I kept doing it like that. And that's what it was like. It looks like I'm having fun, but I'm working.
Yeah, like when I go to E3, you are working. Like you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying yourself, obviously, but it is work at the end of the day. Like Dre, I don't know if you get this, but one of the things that I find I'm just gonna be honest, I'm finding it annoying when, like, say I'm going to E3. This is my family telling me this shit, right? Yeah. I go to E3. Oh, you're going on vacation. I find, I'm like, I'm not going on vacation. I'm going to work. I hate that.
And then you can't explain it to them.
They don't understand. Yeah.
I said, you don't understand. You understand. If I actually took a Fitbit with me to E3,
right,
and I showed you how many steps I took, you would think I ran a marathon.
Yo, man.
Because by the time you're running around the convention center and doing all these, I said, look at my appointment calendar. I do not have time to eat.
Oh, that happened to me last year, man.
Dude,
Check this out. Check this out. Manny can verify this, right? Yeah. Well, not last year, the year before that. Manny can verify this, right? That I was so busy 2018, right? I only saw him basically like in the morning because we were sharing the hotel together, and then when E3 was over, like, but after that, I'm flying all over the place, bro. You know,
dude,
so that's not a vacation.
The first E3, the first two E3s. The second E3, I took some of my buddies with me. Okay, so they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go hang out." I'm like, "Okay, no, you don't understand." When we got to the hotel, I checked in. I went, "I'll see you guys at checkout." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You won't see me for 4 days. You're gonna be sleeping, dude. I might walk in, take a cat nap, and get back up and start back writing. But you won't see me." And it was true. They saw me at the convention floor, and I was running. I can't talk. I'm in the middle of something. I can't talk. And when we were getting ready to pack our bags, we were checking out, and I was like, "All right, I'm back." And they didn't see me for 4 days, and I was there. They were in the same hotel room.
Yeah,
that's how crazy this stuff is sometimes,
nuts, man. But yeah, going back.
And your family doesn't get it. Your family doesn't get it. They don't.
They don't understand. You know, especially let's just be real. With us minority families, they don't get that shit. They really don't get that shit.
It's just like, so you going to LA again? Yeah. Oh, you gonna have fun? I'm working. Oh, I'll have a little bit of fun because the parties are dope.
Obviously, those are fucking amazing.
The parties are dope as fuck. I mean, and the people you meet are fucking awesome. The food, oh my god, dude, CES, Jesus Christ. You don't need every place has a buffet. Every booth has hey man, come back here and get some food. You hungry? Sure, I can eat something. And there's a smorgasbord. You're like, what the? It's like craft services on a movie set. What the fuck is all this shit? There's a leg of lamb. Why is there a leg of lamb here? Why is that? That doesn't make. Why is there a carver here? It doesn't make it. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I will say one thing though, right? Because if you guys know me, I like to drink a lot. But Manny can verify this. Manny, you've never seen me drunk at E3. I purposely do not get drunk out there. I don't know what's gonna happen in LA. I don't trust that place. I'll drink obviously, but I always make sure I have a full stomach before that because I'm not fucking around in LA, man.
Remember at PSX when that certain Sony executive.
Oh man!
We saw Sean Lane got drunk.
No, and we could talk about that off air. Oh man! All right,
that was a scene.
And I guess the last thing I want to say is again, I still am hyped for the games I'm hyped for, but I also know in the back of my mind, Tony, you're gonna be able to indulge. For example, one of the games I'm most hyped for is fucking Streets of Rage 4. I know I'm gonna play it and then get swept under the rug by something. But then there's other games which I will nope, I'm playing this motherfucker. Doom Eternal, I'm playing that shit. Even if I'm not reviewing it, I'm playing that fucking game.
Or you actually went through and played Bloodstained all the way through.
Yes, I did. That was very enjoyable.
Nice.
So there's always, again, the gamer, the old school gamer is still in there. The guy's still in there, but work comes first and then play later. That's how it is. All right, man. Moving on here, Mr. Sketch, who is our Monster Hunter friend, our ally. Even he's like our shepherd. So he's put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, maybe even thousands of hours.
I don't know how that motherfucker does it, and also because he does freelance artwork. I don't know how that motherfucker plays that game.
Yeah, Sketch is Manny basically. He does the same shit. He's at home working his shit. Doing his thing, but he manages to fucking put a.
He's always been faster than me, though.
Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah,
He said he's talking to me the other day. He's like, "Yo, I'm getting slow." I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, you slow is probably just normal compared to me.
Oh man. Anyway, his first question is, what do you guys think about the idea that the next Mortal Kombat might end up being another reboot based on the ending of Mortal Kombat 11? I don't think they should do a reboot. I know what he's talking about. I beat Mortal Kombat 11. I reviewed that for Geek.com. Because Mortal Kombat 10 was already a reboot of the franchise. But he's right. The way Mortal Kombat 11 ended, it could be another reboot as well. But I'm like, just keep going with the current storyline because it's actually pretty good. It's funny because Mortal Kombat was the first fighting game I remember playing that actually had a deep storyline. So it's kind of cool to see the modern incarnation of Mortal Kombat actually step up the game for fighting game narratives. Not everybody's doing Mortal Kombat stories,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I find that one weird where in other words, the normal mode is the story mode is this weird thing where you play all the characters.
Yeah, you play all the
really odd.
Yeah, but a lot of games now do that. I
like that Injustice model.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Did anybody else here play Mortal Kombat 11?
I did. I got it on Switch.
All right, did you finish it? What do you think about the like 12?
I beat it with a few characters. I like the game. I'm kind of, I don't know, man. I think I'm kind of over the gore.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I mean, it's not. It's sometimes you're just like, was that necessary? I know it's Mortal Kombat and all, but God, you like, God,
I don't know. That shit still cracks me the fuck up, man.
It's funny, but I'm just like, man,
it's like watching like an 80s horror movie. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just like,
how is it that you can rip someone's skin off? You can't do this.
Yes, you can't.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like you see it like the X-ray vision, like you cave this motherfucker's chest in, but he's still like walking. It's like, what?
I'm just glad that the gameplay is still on point.
They made it better than the old Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay is a lot better than the
It is. Yeah, it's just still dope. I love
Mortal Kombat is awesome, man. Oh, Carlos, so he came back for like a second. All right. What up?
I was gonna ask a question, but it's a tangent that's probably not gaming related.
All right, so forget it then. All right. Moving on. Next question. What are your opinions on Street Fighter? Manny, I want you to answer this one first. Mm-hmm. What are your opinions on Street Fighter continuing the art style from 4 and 5 into 6, or would you rather they go back to pixels? Or so, what's your take on it? Because I know you haven't exactly been a fan.
No, I don't really like the weird 3D models that they have for these characters. They're even more exaggerated than the ones from Alpha. You know, my feet are like 20 times the size they were in that game. And I know why they're doing those. They make their some of their proportions a little exaggerated so they read a little bit better. But I don't know. I think they could pull it back a little bit.
So what would you like them to do art style wise?
To be honest, I mean, if they sort of went back to Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter Alpha, I think those were really, really nice games. You know, just go, or like, if they could somehow do like something like the Guilty Gear guys.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
but essentially, Street Fighter 3, because Guilty Gear's animated well, but it's not animated as well as Street Fighter, Street Fighter 3.
Yeah,
or any of the King of Fighter games. And I feel like I want to see that sort of thing again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one just because and Manny, you could back this up. Hand-drawn animation takes a long time, right? And those games are constantly being patched and shit. It'll take forever for updates. So I think going to Guilty Gear, right? Because Guilty Gear looks animated, but it's not. It's actually 3D models and stuff. So I think that'll be a good medium. I don't really have a problem with the current art styles of 4 and 5. I think it's kind of like an evolution, like you said, of Alpha, just more exaggerated. Because you're right, like Ryu has these feet, looks like he got stung by bumblebees or something, But I also kind of like it,
Everybody got really exaggerated. And
but I like the exaggerated stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I can see why you don't like it, but I like it personally. But at the same time, I would like them to go back to like an older style, like Street Fighter 3 mixed with Guilty Gear. / Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Fighters would be fucking insane. Although Dragon Ball Fighters is Guilty Gear, if you think about it,
right?
It's all arc system works.
I know it just sort of missing the charm of the older games, and that's the one issue that I sort of have with it. It just doesn't. It definitely doesn't feel the same anymore. But to be honest, it's not the same. It's not even the same people. The guy.
No, it's not.
Guys doing this is the incarnation from 4 on is not the previous guys.
Where's Aki Man? Where's Aki Man?
All those guys are all gone.
Do you think that they're gearing it it's too geared toward the fighting game community?
Oh, I wrote an editorial about that, bro. But I wasn't even talking about the graphics. I was talking about the game, but that's a whole other story. Anyway,
yeah, I just noticed it. I was just like, a lot of my fighting game friends are all on it. I'm just like,
I'm gonna say this. I
don't understand. I don't like. I mean, just a slight tangent off of that. I just don't understand the. I know that's what gets the money and all that sort of stuff, but it's like
Evo and all that. Yeah.
Gets some, it's free advertising and all that other stuff. But you know what? Back in the day when we were playing those fighting games, we didn't care about cross counters or any of that.
Yeah,
took the words right out of my. I was just about to say that. Like basically, back in the day, Andre, you could attest to this, man. You too. fighting games were for everybody. Everybody played fighting games, and they were built for general audiences. Right nowadays, they're only built for the hardcore FGC guys. That, don't get me wrong, that's cool that those guys are like elevating the fighting game genre and giving it prominence. That's fantastic. But at the same time, it's leaving out guys like me. I just want to go in there and throw some Hadoukens and shit. I want to like go in there with a master's degree just to learn one fucking character.
Dude, I don't care what a hitbox is.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
I think it also, all that sort of, as you know, fighting game talk also scares like regular people away. But you see what, like, and we'd go back to Mortal Kombat. They're doing something when Mortal Kombat started putting in things that were beyond, that a regular person couldn't, a person who's not totally into fighting games could enjoy. I think that's when it started to really sort of interest, and started to shine. And remember when Street Fighter 5 decided, hey, we're not putting anything in it. You just punch each other.
Right. I was like, okay.
They fucked up, man. Anyway, go ahead. Andre, man, go ahead. Art style.
No, I just think that's just. I mean, I agree, man. It's just like I just remember when. I mean, Guilty Gear still makes fun fighting games. I mean, like Street Fighter 5 is fine. I mean, it's right the way this current incarnation.
Street Fighter 5 currently is a fantastic fighting
game. It's awesome. I love it. It's like, but I'm just like,
that launch was.
But it took forever for it to get to that point. I'm like, why wasn't this? I would have waited for all that stuff. We're gonna wait to throw everything in. Okay, cool. Just take your time. I'll still play Street Fighter 4. I got a lot of professional fighting game friends, and they're like, well. 5's cool, but I'll play 4. I'll play 4 over 5 any day. I said, man, give me back on Alpha. Give me back on Alpha 3. I'm good.
Alpha is my favorite. Street Fighter Alpha is my favorite Street Fighter game. Love that.
You give me Alpha 3, I'm all in. Man, but I mean, it's just things change too much, man. It's just they need to.
It's too focused on the basics now, man.
And then like also the one other thing about like stuff now, as far as there's not a lot of games that have different, like all the Capcom fighting games kind of look similar. Like I didn't like the style, the way the last Marvel versus Capcom games looked. They're just kind of like, hey, look, it's CG style,
Yeah, the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. What a disappointment, man. Oh, Sketch. He sent me his PS stats, but I'm seeing my stats. You gotta send a different link.
Well, he shows this thing like right here. Well, like I think when you click on it, it asks you if you want to switch. If you just keep looking at him, because I see his stats now.
Okay, no, I see a Sketch. Let's see who played, because Chris Seeley is our top guy with like what was it, 2,000 hours?
2,000, yeah.
Oh, Sketch. Ooh, Sketch beat Chris.
Oh, excuse me?
2,826 hours.
2,826 hours.
Damn, Sketch.
You like to play on Fridays?
Yeah, his longest gaming streak, 23 hours. Damn,
what
son.
The fuck?
Damn.
My man gets
busy. Is it Ultimate Sketch now?
Yeah, Ultimate Sketch, right?
How the fuck did you do that, bud, man? What'd you do? Like just start in the day and just...
He is getting it in. Damn.
I know Manny's like, how is he doing that with the same job I have?
Yeah, man.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Hey, by the way, you can put Ultimate Chris and Sketch together, and it still wouldn't be Mike.
Oh yeah, no, Mike. Yeah, that's
Mike is beyond.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we were the only fighting game guys in here. The rest of you guys don't care, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do you care, Carlos? Okay, well, what's your take on Street Fighter 5's, or Street Fighter 4 and 5's art style? And do you want to change for 6 or what?
Honestly, I couldn't care less about the
Brian, you saw that, right? You heard that shit, right, Brian?
No, I tried
to pause though. I heard the pause.
Well, I like to emphasize things when they're correct. So, I honestly, it doesn't matter to me, the art style, because there's so many other issues that go on with the Street Fighter franchise that's the least of my worries with them. So if they keep the same art style, whatever, it doesn't happen. They have other stuff they need to fix. You need to get fucking spectator mode on day one. Come on.
Yeah, it's like, can we get a full game on day one? How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I could go on a whole rant about what's wrong with fighting games nowadays, man, but we'll save that for another time, you know?
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 doesn't have Cyclops. Like, get the hell out of here, man.
God.
This is bullshit.
Oh man.
Don't get
He's
me
my favorite
started.
character.
Don't get me started. Yeah, Cyclops was fucking awesome. He was one of my main guys. Him and Ryu in X-Men vs. Street Fighter were my main team, man. Fuck everybody up.
Him, Wolverine, War Machine.
Yeah.
It's over, son.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Oh, man. All right, so we're about to wrap it up, but before we do that, I want to give you guys a little bit of a note here. So for Throwdown episode 269, which is this Thursday, right now, we're going to say Manny is going to be hosting that episode because I'm going to be going to San Francisco. I can't say why yet, but it's possible if I come home, because I am going to be coming home in the evening. If I'm not too tired, I'll host it. But either way, the show's going to run as usual, and that Sunday's episode will run as usual. That's not a problem. But we will have to give you a little bit of a note for episode 270 because I will not be around at all for that one. That's not going to happen because your boy's going to be celebrating 40 years on Earth. It's crazy. Earth. But for the upcoming episode 270, you MP3 guys, as always, you know, SoundCloud listeners, iTunes, wherever you're listening, you guys are always unaffected. I swear, like, we do so many changes on this show for years. Those are the only guys who have never had to suffer any changes or any technical hiccups or nothing, you know?
No, they get them on. They get them every week, any single, at the same time.
Yeah, like for example, if we ever have any fuck ups with the show, like we were only able to stream half of it, and then we got to do another show. MP3 guys never hear that shit because I just splice them together, you know.
Do they still have? I haven't listened to the MP3 in a while, but does it still have the Rachel opening?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Always have Rachel.
We will never get rid of Rachel. You know.
I'm an MP3 guy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Riku knows, man. So
Nice.
And those, that's how we started. For you guys who don't know, who our newer audiences, we originally started as an audio only podcast back in 2012. So we're never gonna get rid of that. Nope. Never gonna happen. All right.
I think that show, at least that show, the one that's on SoundCloud, you can listen to that all the way to up when Tony had left to go to the DualShockers.
That's right. Yeah.
I was hosting them. And then after that, he left the DualShockers, and then and that was when we were closing down when Torrance closed the STFU and Play. And
hey, I'm wearing the shirt, man.
We move over to the Coalition.
Yeah, the stars just aligned with that one. I left DualShockers. These guys were starting up Throwdown, and it's like, hey, and Manny said from the beginning, like, yo, Tony, if you ever are free, take the show back. Said that from day one. I
said his thing, like, we had him on, like,
yeah, I was on.
I think you were on the first one.
I was on one of the early ones, but I'd like and I was also on the last two ones. The last episode was fun, right? Because Manny started the episode, he introed it, and then I outroed it.
Yeah, to give a little preview as to what was going to come on to the next, and that's also when we went full video.
Yep, pretty much, and it's been good for us, man. And Carlos, man, episode 275, man. Throwdown Your Questions, AMA, man, get ready.
Excuse me.
You know how that goes, man. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. So first of all, Andre, I want to thank you for being here last minute, bro. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Same thing for Riku. By the way, if you guys want to know Riku, original Throwdown, man. It was me, him, and another guy. It was Jeezy. Respect, So Riku, again, for both of you guys who are being here at the last minute. So first up, Riku, man, where can people find you and plug whatever you want to plug, man?
Yeah, man, at Riku-san1 on Twitter, and that's about it, man. Just follow me there.
All right, Andre,
I'm
man.
Over here, yeah. I'm over here getting blocked by Frosted Flakes on Twitter.
Yeah, what did you do to Tony the Tiger, man?
Don't worry about that. That's
you talking shit about his mama or something, Yeah. Anyway, Andre, man, say whatever you gotta say, man. Where can people find you? Whatever.
Man, just check us out. Check me out at realotakugamer.com. Check me out at New Otaku Man 5000 on Twitter. I'm a Otaku Man 5000 pretty much anywhere. Just enjoy what you play what you enjoy, man. Just do what you do. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, it's all good.
Yeah, man. That's why I said, like, say whatever you want, because you always have those like inspirational phrases
man,
at the end of the show.
I do want to say one little thing. Just, man, I put it out there earlier this week, man. Just be kind when you can. Just try to do it once a day. Just be nice to somebody. You know, give somebody a nice compliment or something, or just say something positive to somebody just for one time. You'll see how your life feels when you do that.
Yeah, and especially in light of the news that happened today, we still talked about it at the top of the show. Paying our respects to Kobe Bryant.
Hug your family, man.
Yeah,
hug your family. Keep them close, man. It's just because you truly never know. I've seen enough death, man. Dude, you don't. It's the worst thing, and you don't. You don't know what to do. You can't prepare for it. Just make sure you tell people you love them when you can.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. All right, man. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. Tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys. No giveaway this week. Don't worry about that. We'll let you know.
Yeah, episode 271. We're gonna start doing giveaways, man. So get ready for that shit. Carlos Romero.
Hey, take care, everyone. Later, humans. This is.
You gotta catch everybody, man. Brian Manjoma.
Yeah, be careful out there. There are a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of dumbass takes.
Oh man.
Okay, you, Movie Bob.
Oh man, Riku-san won, the only one. No, Riku's already muted. All right, man. And Andre.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead,
Peace
man.
out, people. Peace out. That's all I'm gonna say. Peace out.
All right, and Andre Tipton. Come on, Otaku man, take us home, son. All right, Andre don't want to say nothing. All right, yo, we'll see you on Thursday, man. Peace out, people.
Later, guys.
Peace out.